So baseball is a sport like no other. In a world of nonstop distractions, it's kind of a throwback to maybe a slower, simpler time. In Berkeley, South Carolina, some 3,000 kids have had to sit on the sidelines watching their siblings and friends play. That is until the arrival of the Moncks corner home telecom miracle field. For the kids who otherwise would be shut out of America's pastime, and yes, I still call it America's pastime, Moncks Corner Miracle Home Telecom Field lives up to its name. And today we're going to have a few of the people who are critical to opening baseball to the entire population of Berkeley County and really beyond, it sounds like. As its name suggests, Home Telecom is the hometown telecom provider for Moncks Corner and the surrounding area. I've been there. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, but they're doing a wonderful thing to not only connect their community, but make their community stronger and help the businesses around there. And I think we're going to see the same thing as we discuss what's going on with the Miracle League and the Miracle Field. So, Becky, I kind of touched a little bit about Moncks Corner, but why don't you kind of give us your perspective on what life is like in Moncks Corner, what, people from California or Idaho or wherever in the world, what can they expect when they come to Moncks Corner?
So Moncks Corner is called the Lowcountry's hometown. We have that hometown feel where really sports brings families, sports and programs bring families together. And we have even though we're growing at a rapid pace, we have such a tight-knit community where, our sports programs have almost doubled in the past 5 years. And so on a given night, you can have, 2,000 people at our rec complex. And that's, watching baseball, softball, football, flag football, soccer. But the neat thing about Moncks Corner is anytime we have a project or a new program, our surrounding businesses and partners walk alongside us. And that's, you don't find that in big cities. We're really a town of where we all like to work together. And we have such great partners, and Home Telecom is one of them. So that we're very grateful for.
Well, I want to talk about home in a second, but first, 2,000 people, that's quite a few considering the population of the area. I mean, what are we talking about in terms of a number of people you draw from?
The town of Moncks Corner itself is around 12,000, the population that live in town. And I might be on the low end or the high end there, so I don't want to exaggerate too much. But I can tell you, for example, our fall season. Our fall season, normally we would get about 600 participants. Well, this past fall season, we had right at 1,200. And that's just participants. That's not including coaches, volunteer coaches, and as well as sponsors for all of the teams. And so Moncks Corner itself is a growing town, but we still like to keep that Lowcountry's hometown, small town feel.
And that is the tagline.
Right.
And the Miracle League, maybe you can touch on that for a moment, because it was new to me when I saw this post initially.
So the Miracle League field, I will tell you, our Mayor Michael Locklear, he had a vision, and he wanted to make sure in recreation that we offered programs for children and adults of all abilities. And so we were missing that one component. And so he really, was the spearhead to this, where he, this is something we need. It wasn't really a want. It was a need for our community. We went and surveyed those who played in the Miracle League and realized many of them traveled over an hour just to play on a given, weeknight or a Saturday. So, we were very fortunate to bring it to the town of Moncks Corner and to do a capital campaign. And, now it's here.
And it's a relatively new league, right? I mean, it's only been in the last 20 years or so.
I think they have over 300 Miracle League fields, maybe worldwide. It might be a little bit higher than that, but, their home base is in Conyers, Georgia, and they are really, I went to a seminar to find out, all about Miracle League, and we joined it and franchised our league, and they've really walked hand in hand with us. I mean, they give us a blueprint that if you follow by it, it's pretty good.
And it's open to all ages, all abilities
All
type of thing?
ages. It's Miracle League is for those with special needs, and so what we do is we have a registration and they sign up, and we really reach out to our community and our partners to be buddies. What's nice is Miracle League is not just about just the players, it's about bringing our community together and supporting these players and um, helping them and allowing the parents to watch again. Whenever us as parents, I go out and watch my child play baseball, and so this gives these parents, because they have, they're hands on with their children and helping them overcome whatever they might be overcoming, and so this gives them their 1 hour of watching their child play baseball.
Yeah, that's a great benefit to the parents, but also to the community, to the buddies and so forth who are out there helping. Will, what was kind of that aha moment that convinced you to be part of this?
I don't know that I can say there was an aha moment, to be honest with you, because this thing built for such a long period of time. Because what Becky didn't mention was, the space for an inclusive project was always part of the master plan of this big rec project that started many years ago. So it's always been that hole in the puzzle there for a long time. And it was the current mayor that came forward and actually made it all happen. So that part was absolutely accurate, but it wasn't a new idea at that point. It was just he championed it and made it happen. So yeah, it was involvement from them. It was seeing the need, the fact that we had a segment of our community that was not able to participate in such an important part of what we're doing. So it wasn't really one moment. It was, death by 1,000 cuts, I guess.
Well, that's really cool that there was foresight many years ago, it sounds like, to actually set aside space for something like this.
Yes.
If I was to try to pick, when the decision was made to go as deep as we did, it was when the mayor came forward and demonstrated that there was enough of a commitment to raise the rest of the money that was needed, that said, okay, it's really going to happen this time. We're not just talking about it anymore. So let's go help make it happen.
And it was a significant investment, right? I mean, you guys put up quite a bit of money, Home did, but then I'm sure that was just part of it. So maybe whoever wants to talk about the investment aspects, and there's probably a few different angles, Becky and Will and Gina. So
yeah, I'm sure Becky can give you the total budget. I know it was well over $1 million, and we did contribute $250,000 to it to help make it go. But it was a pretty sizable investment. We, as Becky mentioned, the business community here is always very involved in so many things. So we do give a significant amount of money every year to different projects and sponsorships and all that, and as well as the man hours that are involved from our employees, involved in coaching and helping out with Habitat for Humanity, whatever the project is, and all their church events. So it is a big part of what we do. But this was by far the largest single investment we've made in any single project, and it was just important that this segment be served that had been missing for so long.
And Gina, it sounds like, and Will kind of touched on this though, but the investment goes well beyond the dollars, and you're actually in the community. I mean, this is really cool. This is like those major league naming type things, but the difference is you guys are there. I've seen you on the field and the images and the pictures and stuff. So maybe you could talk to that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got roots that date back to 1904 in this community, so it is very important for us to give that investment back into the community and show our passionate support. So when this opportunity came up, it became just like a no-brainer from a marketing perspective, because it's as competition. I mean, we are all facing competition, but that's the one strong competitive advantage that Home Telecom has. This is our community. We live here. We support this community. I mean, not only with this park, but this was a huge investment, and we're going to get, I mean, so many great opportunities out of it. But there's other parks and other Wi-Fi opportunities that we take advantage of, that we can put our name on it, because the community needs to know that we're invested in this community.
Since you brought up Wi-Fi, I have to ask, because I remember, I think, yours was one of the first that I actually saw where you had the outdoor Wi-Fi and so forth. So I'm sure Wi-Fi is integral to this, right?
Anytime we can have the opportunity to provide community-wide Wi-Fi in any of the, working with local governments for parks or any community gathering spot, we really want to expand that footprint to where Home Telecom community Wi-Fi is just a well-known opportunity. It's a well-known benefit to the communities that we serve.
So people can just, hop on and actually live stream the game of their kids to the whoever. Huh?
Yep. And we're always looking for new opportunities to expand that footprint.
That's excellent. And so personally, I had the benefit of being involved with the Challenger League and seeing the positive impact, as you had mentioned, Becky, on the parents, their ability to be able to watch for an hour, just have that relaxation time, but also the ability for kids of different abilities to be buddies and so forth. And it helped all the kids. And that's why I'm kind of curious, what do you see the impact, whether it be, at the kids level, at the adult level? What are some of the positive impacts? I'd like to hear from all of you.
Well, one thing about our programs that we talk about, often is that we, want them to teach us, teamwork and discipline, leadership, overcoming adversity. This program will not only allow the participants to, develop and learn these skills, but also the buddies, to becoming a leader, to be side by side with somebody, not only a child that might be a buddy or adults, and I just think this program's going to be, I really, it's hard to foresee, but I think the impact is greater than what our words can be, so from whenever we had our ribbon cutting, I mean, that right there solidified what we were doing as a whole was the right thing to do. It was such a need. And that night I have played over and over of how great it is. I mean, it's there. We actually have coaches that have said, "Hey, I don't want to coach baseball. This, like the regular competitive season, please give me a miracle team." And they're changing it because they saw it's so rewarding. I mean, and on different levels. And so, I really just don't think we're going to be able to put into words how great it's going to be, and, I'm just glad that this was able to finally be here and that we were able to offer this program.
And the Home Telecom employees, they're so excited about the opportunity to be buddies. There were so many that came out on that first night and were buddies, and they just cannot wait to participate more.
What you're doing is inspiring, and hopefully it inspires some other miracle leagues across this great nation. There's hundreds, thousands of communities like Moncks Corner, and so I can't wait to publish this. And thank you very much for all your time.